All right, so this video is all about the best areas to buy a home in here in the city of Winchester, California for under $600,000, and really what neighborhoods are going to give you the best bang for your buck. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, hey again, my name is Justin Short. I'm a realtor and team leader with the Short Real Estate team here at Keller Williams in Temecula, and this video is all about the city of Winchester. We're going to go over the best areas to buy in, to buy a home for under $600,000, and really what neighborhoods are going to give you the best bang for your buck. So I'm going to give you my list of my top 3 favorite neighborhoods to buy a home in for under $600,000 in Winchester. So hopefully it'll be good information for you guys. It will help you and your family with your home search. Before getting to all the information, if you are liking local real estate videos like this, please do me a favor. Please hit like, please hit subscribe to the channel. Obviously it helps me and it helps my channels. We try to continue to grow it. You know, we have new videos that come out each and every week, and it's all local based real estate info just like this. So just talking about, best neighborhoods and worst neighborhoods, and our recommendations, best school districts, and all, pros and cons, all those different types of things. So if you want to stay on top of that, the best thing to do is be able to hit like and hit subscribe, and you'll see those new videos that come out each and every week. And then if you guys have any real estate questions, you could feel free to reach out anytime. So you're going to see my information either down below the video or at the end. You're going to see my name, my phone number, my email. You can feel free, you can call, you can text, you can email me. Happy to answer any questions you may have, help point you in the right direction, or of course, if I can help you out with your real estate search, would love to be able to be a resource and help you and your family with that. Obviously that's how I earn a living, so would love the opportunity. Cool. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll get into my list here. I don't make a lot of videos about the city of Winchester. The reason being, it's kind of a smaller area and a lot of people are not super familiar with it. So if you're not familiar with the city of Winchester, kind of where it's at. So this whole area, we're southwest Riverside County, right? If you go any further south down the freeway, you hit San Diego County. And so because of that, this area it's a big suburb population. So a lot of people live here and they end up commuting down to San Diego, to LA or to Orange County, for work, but people live out here because it's a lot more affordable. As the area has grown, last 10, 15 years, the area has become less and less affordable, more and more expensive. So most people really in this area really know about the city of Temecula, maybe Murrieta, and they've just gotten so expensive, a lot of people do decide to buy homes in some of the surrounding areas that are a little bit less expensive. I personally am a big fan of the city of Winchester, and I'll give you some reasons why. But really the biggest driver for people is it's a little more affordable than some of those other cities. So right now the average home in the city of Temecula is like $850,000. The average home in the city of Murrieta is about $750,000. And really the average home in Winchester is under $700,000. So, and you'll find a good amount, or a decent amount, I would say, under $600,000. And that's what this is about, just kind of, the more affordable areas where I feel like you can really get a pretty decent value. One of the things that I like about the area is Winchester's kind of a broad, it's a very large city as far as landmass goes. So there's like a southern section and there's a northern section. Sometimes you'll see that southern section referred to as French Valley. They are all still the same zip code and kind of referred to similarly, but the big pro about being in that southern French Valley area is you are a part of the higher rated school district. So if you live in that southern French Valley, that southern Winchester, French Valley area, you are usually going to be a part of either the Temecula or the Murrieta Valley School District. Both of those school districts are really, really highly rated, so you're still a part of a really good school district. If you were part of that northern portion of Winchester, the school districts they're not terrible, but they're not quite rated as highly. So because of that, those homes tend to be a little less expensive. On the flip side, those tend to be a little bit newer for the most part, because there's a lot of new construction that's still going on. But it's a little more expensive down here, but you do get that better school district. So if that is important to you, that is just something to keep in mind and something that you want to pay attention to. And if you weren't super familiar with the area, you might not necessarily know that. So it's definitely something you want to pay attention to. Also, this will be helpful for the rest of the video here, but I'm probably a little bit biased here. My parents bought a home in Winchester in the French Valley area when I was a kid, when I was a teenager. That was the first home they ever purchased. And actually, one of the neighborhoods that we're going to talk about is the neighborhood that I grew up in. So I'm sure that I'm biased. I think I can give you that, pretty frankly. But there's a lot of pros about that area that I'll give you. But the reason I mention that is I know the area really well. I've lived here for a really long time. I've lived here in the valley, kind of Temecula, Murrieta Valley, Winchester, for over 25 years now. So I think I can give you a really good reference on what it's like to actually live here. And then I've worked here, I've sold real estate here for, I think 13 years or so locally. So I think I can give you really good information from someone that, lives here full time and has lived in here for a long time and has a lot of clients that live here as well. So cool. All right, so let's go ahead and get into my list. And again, we're going to talk about the best areas to buy a home in under $600,000. There are many neighborhoods in Winchester, and there's a lot of areas that have bigger homes that are probably newer, probably a little bit more updated than what we're going to talk about. But if you're looking for something that I think is a good value, and you want to stay under $600,000, I think this is going to be helpful for you. So number one neighborhood to buy a home in Winchester under $600,000 is the original French Valley neighborhood. Sometimes you'll see it referred to as the forecast homes. It's kind of difficult because people are not, they don't necessarily have like this great big huge sign that says French Valley. There are a couple little ones, but it tends to blend in with the rest of the city. But like I was mentioned before, my family bought a home in this area a long time ago, back in, I guess it was, I think 2000, 2001, something like that. Back then, there's a bunch of farmland. There really wasn't much out there, so it was pretty dirt cheap. But since then, the city and the area has grown a lot. There's a lot more shopping centers close by, and it's a totally different area. But what I like about the area, in this neighborhood specifically, is that there's a very, very low HOA, so it's a $45 per month HOA, and it's very, very, very low property taxes. In addition to that, this particular section of homes is also all single story homes. They are also single family homes, but they are single story homes, so one level, no stairs, and I think that's a big plus for people too. They're not the largest of homes in the world. You're going to see homes anywhere from like it's about 1,500 to about 2,000 square feet, right around that area, but they're about 1,600 square feet. There are home lots that do have RV parking, so there's some pretty cool things as far as that goes, but very low taxes, very low HOA, and I think it is a really good value. You can find homes priced anywhere from, let's call it about $500,000 up to $600,000. That $500,000 home is going to be pretty dated now. It's probably 25 years old. It's probably got a lot of original, linoleum and tile counters and things that most people are going to think are pretty dated. But on the higher end, those $600,000 homes are going to be pretty updated. And you see people that moved in, they gutted, they put new cabinets, they put new counters, they put new flooring, and they're very pretty, very nice homes. So depending where you want to be, if you want to be on the lower end of it, you can buy it and maybe do some of those renovations yourself, or if you want something that's completely dialed in and still be under $600,000, which I don't think you can really find in most any area, especially in a low tax neighborhood, and be a part of a really good school district. That's why I think the original French Valley neighborhood is a really good value. There's also 4 different sections there, so there's a good amount of homes. There's got to be probably 2,000, 2,500 different homes that kind of fit into this neighborhood. So if you are looking for a home in Winchester under $600,000, that would be my number one bet and area that I would point you to if you are looking for a true single family home. Number 2 on my list is the Bella Sol community. These people, when you come to the community, you will think that they are single family homes, but they are not. They're actually considered detached condos. So what that means is, the homes are not attached, so you are detached. You do have space between the houses. They are definitely smaller lots, but you do have a private backyard. So it's a smaller backyard, but you'll have a yard that's anywhere from, let's say, 10 to 15 feet deep, maybe 25 to 30 feet wide. So it's not by any means just this huge, massive lot by any means. They're definitely a little bit closer together, but because it is a detached condo, the HOA does take care of the maintenance that's out front and some of the exterior of the building, so there's some pros there. You do have your own private 2-car garage. It is in a gated community. There is, a nice, play area, top lot that's there, and you can buy one of these detached condos for under, well, in the low 500,000s. So from like 490 to like 525, 535 right now. So I think it's a really good value. You can find something, that they're relatively new. They're about 10, 11 years old, right around there. You can find them that are pretty move-in ready, still pretty dialed in. Some might be a little bit rougher now, but for the most part, what I see that's on the market, they are in really, really good shape and still nicely updated for the year. The trade-off is they do have a little bit higher HOA. So the HOA is almost $200 a month. It's like $193 a month. So you do have to deal with that. But to have a newer home, that you have your own private space, to be in, really it's the low $500,000 range. I think that's still a really good value. And again, it's still in that southern Winchester area, which is going to be part of those good school districts as well. It's also right next to a new public library, newer now public library, that's actually really, really nice. And they're doing some other construction, infrastructure that's right around that as well. So that's definitely something that I would recommend to people if you don't mind a lot that's a little bit tighter. And then number 3 on my list is a newer community, and that's the community of Sunstone. This was a new development by Lennar Homes. They are just finishing up some of the new construction there now. So we are now starting to see some resale homes. So all the basic, from what I understand, almost all the new construction homes are sold out. There's maybe 1 or 2 lots that are left, a couple that are still closing, and we're starting to see some people that maybe moved in a year ago, 2 years ago. It's not the right fit for them for whatever reason, and they're now selling their homes. So they're pretty much brand new. It's only a year, 2 years old. And with that, that means really nice, finishes, quartz counters, open concepts, all those types of things, which are really nice. They are technically detached condos as well, so you do have that. So you're again going to be a smaller lot, but they are detached. You are going to have your own space there, and you do have an HOA that's going to be a little bit higher. It's actually I think it's the highest in the city of Winchester as far as I know. So it's about $300 a month HOA. So that is something you want to pay attention to. But it is a really good value. It is a nice area. It puts you in new construction. It's something that's almost brand new. And typically on the resale, you're going to have the backyard was at least already poured, so you don't have to, in hardscape and landscapes, you're not necessarily going to have to deal with that. Another trade-off, they do tend to have a little bit higher taxes. So because it's newer, you are going to have those high, special assessments, or some people call them millaroos. So that's something you want to pay attention to. But you can buy a home for in the low 500,000 range. So I do think it is still a really good value, especially with how expensive everything else is. If you don't mind paying a little bit higher HOA, a little bit higher taxes, and you want something that's almost new, I think this can be a really good fit for you. So anyways, that's my list. That would be my 3 neighborhoods I would recommend to check out if you are looking for a home under $600,000 in Winchester. Number 1 would be that old original French Valley neighborhood. We talked about the Belisol community and then the Sunstone community by Lennar. And I'm sure we're going to see more and more resale homes pop up over the next couple months and really over the next couple years as the community continues to age out. So anyways, hopefully that's good information. You guys feel free to give me a call or text if you have any questions, and hopefully talk to you soon. Thanks.